Hi, everybody. Welcome to our weekly podcast, The Locker Room. I'm Stan Gravwell. We are bringing this to you straight from the locker room here at Terrebonne General. This is our weekly podcast where we take a look at the Bayou region high schools and what they're doing. Not only that, what our youth in the area are doing. So we're very happy to be doing that. Today, we're going to look at, obviously, E.D. White High School. E.D. White is going to play for a Division II select football championship. So we're very excited about that. As a matter of fact, Terrebonne General will be there. We're going to be broadcasting that live on radio on 97.7. So we encourage all of you to tune in. It's an odd time. It's noon on Friday. That's right, Friday at noon, because there are so many state championship games. This game, the Division II Select game, was always slated to be on Friday at noon. So E.D. White going to be taking on Archbishop Shaw High School right in the middle of the day on Friday. And again, we will be there. If you're at work, if you are on the road, whatever the case may be, and you want to tune in to us. And it's pretty exclusive because the Louisiana High School Athletic Association does not let you cover very many things related to state championships. So we have to get special permission, but we will be there. I also want to touch a little bit on Girls on the Run. They had their terrific Reindeer Run Sunday yesterday, and it was a great event. So we certainly want to cast a light on what those young ladies are doing. We're also going to talk a little bit about two young men who signed to play collegiate football on the next level, one from Vanderbilt Catholic, one from H.L. Bourgeois High School. So we'll get that to you. And we're going to wrap things up in a special sort of way. We're going to take a sort of insight to the coaches in our area. We're going to try and do this periodically where we look at what our coaches are about. Sometimes you know the coaches just as a high school basketball coach or football coach. This is a situation where we're going to look at the coach and what they think about certain things. Who are their heroes? Who was their best teacher when they were in high school? Things like that. So that'll be a lot of fun. And putting this all together, as he does weekly, is my man, Dustin Robichaud. Dustin, thanks. Thanks for being here again this week.
Always happy to be here, Stan.
You know, I said we were going to start things off related to the high school football game with E.D. White and Shaw. I compiled some stats, and I'm curious to see what you think about some of these stats. So, for those of you who don't know, the Louisiana High School Athletic Association, which it wasn't always called that, by the way, has been having state championship high school games since 1921. So if my math is right, that's 103 years or so?
Yeah.
In that time, there have been 383 state championship football games.
Wow.
Now, a lot of you say, well, wait a minute, that doesn't equate. If it's been 103 years, why haven't there been 103 state championship games? Because obviously you have different classifications. When this all first started, there was only one classification in 1921. You had one game, right? Now we're in a situation in the year 2024 where you have 8 games. And just a few years ago, you actually had 9 games. So there's a lot of brackets now, to be quite honest. But here's my thought on all of this. Of the 383 state championship games, how many Bayou region teams have won a state championship? Now, I'm going to call the Bayou region, let's say from East St. Mary, like around the Calumet River, you know, somewhere, you know, we're talking about Morgan City area, Central Catholic, all the way down, obviously, to Galliano with South Lafourche, all the way into Assumption. So Lafourche Parish, Terrebonne Parish, Assumption Parish, and part of St. Mary Parish, right? How many out of 383 games do you think we have won on the Bayou region? You're trying to cheat. Look at my notes.
State championship.
State championships.
I'm going to say 15.
Not bad. Not bad. 10. 10 state championships since 1921. The first one was in 1957, Morgan City High School.
Wow.
So Morgan City won the 2A state championship in 1957. That was our first in the area. Then in 1959, St. Francis won a state championship. They were in single A football at that time. But those of you who are going like St. Francis, well, it's Vanderbilt Catholic, right? It was the boys' school back then, and now it's Vanderbilt Catholic. In 1964, Assumption won a state championship. Also in 64, Lockport. They were in 2 different classifications. Your neck of the woods.
Yeah, my old stomping grounds.
So the deal about Lockport is before Central Lafourche became Central Lafourche, you had Lockport High School and you had Raceland High School. So Lockport won one. Again, that was in 1964. In 1965, LaRose Cutoff won a state championship. That was in 2A football. In 1968 and 69, E.D. White won. So this wouldn't be E.D. White's first state championship. They won 2 in a row, 68 and 69. And then in 1971, South Lafourche won, and that was under Ralph Perry. He comes back again in 1977 to win. That was when Bobby Hebert was the quarterback over at South Lafourche. And finally, the last state championship in this area, 1991, South Terrebonne High School won it. And I can remember at that time us thinking, ooh, it's going to be hard for another Bayou region team to win it. But here we are with E.D. White with the opportunity to maybe win it. So we certainly hope that comes to fruition.
Yes.
And what we are going to do is talk to Casey a lot about the state championship game upcoming and take a look back at E.D. White and how they did against Leesville. So we want to make sure you stay tuned for that. But before we get to that, Girls on the Run did their annual Reindeer Run. That's the Bayou region. They did this yesterday over in Houma at Courthouse Square.
Stan, Girls on the Run. Is this actual reindeers running, or is it? Can you explain?
So Girls on the Run is a national organization that was established in 1996. And they have chapters all over the United States. Actually, it's going international as of late. In around 2010, 2009, the district attorney in Terrebonne Parish decided to set up a chapter here because what the group does is it instills character, confidence, morals, everything you could think of that makes a young lady a stronger young lady. And they start with the kids in elementary school. It's not for high schoolers now, folks. And it goes up to about the 7th grade where these young ladies basically stay after school once a week with a coach. And they not only move, because the whole thing's based around movement. They want the young ladies healthy, right? So they want them to move. But they also talk to them about things that build up confidence and character with them. It's a wonderful program. Terrebonne General has been involved with it. And on a yearly basis, I'm very fortunate. I get to go out and MC the Reindeer Run. Yesterday, I had the pleasure of doing it with Tara Wolf. She's a terrific young lady in the area. And it was an amazing event. Kudos to Amy Johnson, Andrea Nakan, Monique Robinson-Clark. They are the leaders of the Bayou chapter for Girls on the Run. They put on a terrific event. There had to be close to 3,000 people there yesterday. It was awesome. Now, not all 3,000 ran. The young girls ran, and I think we have footage of that showing now. It was a fun event. Kudos to what they do for building character in these young ladies. This is their big event. The Reindeer Run is sort of the culmination of their fall and winter season. They do have a run in the spring, but it's a lot smaller. That's the only way I can describe it. So again, kudos to that organization. And I'm very proud here at Terrebonne General. We have been a supporter of that with so many other organizations throughout our community. Used to be it was just a few Terrebonne Parish elementary schools. Now it's Terrebonne Parish, it's Lafourche Parish, it's St. Mary Parish. It's really spreading. So again, kudos to all of those folks.
Sounds like a wonderful event.
It was a terrific event. Back to high school football. E.D. White took on Leesville, the winner, an opportunity to play in the state championship. Time to call in our friend, Casey Gisclair, to talk a little bit about that big game that happened last Friday and the big one happening this Friday. Good to have Casey with us. So fortunate every week to have Casey with us as we talk a little bit about high school football and basketball today. Obviously football with E.D. White going to the state championship game. Did you have the opportunity to see the game on Friday night? Give us your thoughts in that game against Leesville.
E.D. White was the better team. I mean, Leesville came in and, they had a great tailback and they had some good skill playmakers, but E.D. White controlled the game at both lines of scrimmage. They forced turnovers. They were great in special teams. Coach Kyle Lasang said it was one of their better performances of the season. And, hard to deny that the right team went to the Dome because they really were in control throughout.
Listen, that kid is special.
Yeah, he is.
Xavier Ford. But E.D. White did a really good job of sort of bottling him up enough. He had a lot of solid yards. People look at the statistics on the day after and see 160 yards or whatever it may be. And by the way, congratulations to him, as he set the single season rushing record in the state of Louisiana. But they were yards that were exactly what I said. They were sort of silent. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah. He would break a 4 or 5 yard run, and then maybe a 10, 12 yard run, but never anything of substance. I did an outstanding job of not letting him get that 40, 50, 60 yard explosive play. They were rallying, they were gang tackling, and look, the thing about that Ford kid, he delivers the blow to the defense a lot, so he was wearing them down a little, but EDY did an excellent job swarming to the ball and not allowing him to run wild.
Interesting stat as I look down. I wrote this down yesterday because I was watching that Saints game, and God knows I was looking for something else to do while that game was going on. Landon Babin scored a touchdown for A.D. White. Grant Barbera scored a touchdown for E.D. White, the quarterback. Carter Douglas scored a touchdown for E.D. White. Reese LaFont scored a touchdown for E.D. White. Probably their best defensive player is Charlie Dietrich, and I shouldn't say their best, but he certainly is a force in the middle at the linebacker position, along with, Jonathan Lee, who's really good there too. You know what they all have in common, Casey?
They all scored touchdowns?
They're all coming back next year.
Oh, okay.
Wow. Yeah, the rich get richer sort of thing. Now listen, it's going to affect the offensive and defensive lines related to losing seniors. But when you look at E.D. White, it's not that thing of, for example, last week they played Vanderbilt Catholic. By the way, kudos to that game as I look back on it, because it had a lot more of a playoff atmosphere actually than the game with Leesville had this past week. But Vanderbilt had 19 seniors on that team, and that's what you want. You want to get into a cycle where you have all of these, you senior class. E.D. White sort of just, I hate to use a cliche, but they sort of reload, right?
And I could tell you a secret, as someone who's covered some middle school sports this year and has seen their 8th grade team, they're not finished with the talent wave. They were outstanding in 8th grade. They won the parish championship there. They have some kids on that 8th grade team who are going to be playing varsity next season. So you tell me everything that they have coming back, everything that they have coming up. Yeah, Coach Kyle is saying and his guys have it rolling there over at E.D. White.
How do you like the situation where the LHSAA has a 12 o'clock start time on Friday? I just have a lot of friends in the area who are not necessarily E.D. White fans, but they're fans of high school football in the Bayou region. And they're like, Friday night I'll go on Thursday night, but I can't go at noon on a Friday.
It's unfortunate. It really is unfortunate. I don't know the alternative. I know that there's some people saying, well, you could have backloaded the games on Saturday, but Saturday, the last start time is 3:30, which is kind of weird. But then you realize, well, the Saints play a home game on Sunday, so they probably want their building back, to start getting it ready for the NFL Sunday. I don't know the way to fix it, but I do agree that it's unfortunate. You have a game Friday at noon. Fortunately, E.D. White has great administration, and they were, able to cancel school and everything. But that was my first thought was, will just no students be able to go? But there are people in the working community. There are people that, just have regular old Monday through Friday jobs that won't be able to attend, that would love to attend, just based on the time situation, with it starting at noon.
So it's going to be Shaw, and it's pretty much what we figured, the number 1 seed from the other side of the bracket. Listen, before this all started and the bracket happened and we were worried about what was going to happen with the University High situation, I think everybody agreed that if Madison Prep and Shaw were on your side of the bracket, they could present problems. So it works out where they're on the other side. You have University. University gets booted out of the bracket. You have Vanderbilt Catholic, obviously, if you're an E.D. White fan, and that was a tough game. Boy, I hate to pass on Leesville because Leesville wasn't a bad football team, but they're in my opinion, they're probably not at the caliber of Madison Prep, Shaw, and E.D. White, and maybe even Vanderbilt Catholic. So now you have Shaw. What do you know about Shaw?
A lot of skill playmakers, man. They got a lot of college-level talent. They signed 2 to Michigan this past week, one signing day. So, that'll tell you right there that they have some kids who could really play. Coach Lasang says they're going to be good up front. Obviously, with Coach Hank Tierney, they're going to be very well coached. It's going to be a situation where, look, E.D. White made the decision last offseason. Coach Lasang and his staff said, we need to schedule harder. And that was a decision that they made to go and play Hanville, to go and play, you know, Holy Cross, and to go and play these big Catholic League schools. And Coach Lasang said on Saturday during his radio interview, he said, hey, yeah, they got some skilled playmakers. They got some Division I playmakers. But he also said, this isn't anything that we haven't seen before. So E.D. White is confident that if they do what they do, if they execute their game plan, if they, you know, control the line of scrimmage on offense, keep the ball away from Shaw's offense, that they're going to be okay. And I will say this, you know, you and I, we actually rode together to the game when E.D. White took on University a couple years ago. It felt like going into that game, yeah, of course, E.D. White had a chance, but it felt like they were a massive underdog in that game. Even, when you just look at the rosters and you see who got more college players, whatever it may be, that game ended up being 14-7 and very competitive. But I'll tell you, on paper, just looking at it, this is a much more evenly matched state championship game, and I wouldn't be surprised if E.D. White went out there and won it.
I agree. And, you know, you just mentioned something that was interesting to me that Kyle Lasang said. He said, this is something we've seen before. I got to tell you, from a Shaw perspective, this is something they haven't seen before, just because of the offense that E.D. White runs. Now, listen, I think it's going to be a great football game, and I think it's obviously a step up in competition for E.D. White, but I agree with you 100%. You don't get that vibe we did when we were going up to that University game a couple of years ago. This is a little bit different. I did have our producer on, Dustin, and I asked him this question, so I want to pose it to you just to see where you think this all falls. Again, bored to tears during that Saints game yesterday. And I went and looked at 14 Productions, which is where you can find out the past history of state championships. State championships in Louisiana have been recorded since 1921, right? So that's what, 103 years about? There have been 383 state championship games. 383. All right? I want you to take a wild guess how many Bayou region teams have state championships. Now, consider I call the Bayou region from, say, Berwick on this way, down obviously to Galliano, up to Assumption. Let's leave Hornville and Destrehan because they're a river out of this. So what we call traditionally the Bayou region. Want to take a wild guess at how many state championships since 1921?
South Lafourche 2, Thibodaux, I think a handful, South Terrebonne. Let's say 13?
Boy, you're very close. So it's 10.
Okay.
It's 10. Now, real quickly, I want to read them off to you just to see if there's any surprise look on your face, right? So 1957, Morgan City won it in AA. That was our first in our area, so to speak. In 1959, St. Francis won it. They're single A. For those of you who don't know what St. Francis is, that's Vanderbilt Catholic, right? It was the all-boys school back then. Next, 1964. This one surprised me a little bit. Assumption High School won it all.
Okay, yeah.
So they won it all in AA. In 1964, also, Lockport won it all. They won it in single A. In 1965, LaRose Cutoff won it. So when you said South Lafourche 2, you can actually say South Lafourche 3, right? E.D. White won it in 68 and in 69. That was the great teams with Laurie DuPont and Joe Fake in that group. Then in 1971, Coach Ralph Perry won his first state championship with South Lafourche. A lot of people forget about that one because the one in 1977, obviously you had Bobby Hebert and Ed Ogeron on that one, sort of was the highlight championship, and it was a heck of a game down in Galliano. So in 1977, you had South Lafourche, and the last one was in 1991. It was South Terrebonne, I was, part of that one. I'm shameless plug, but that being said, 10 state championships, last one in 1991. Surprised you just a little bit?
Yeah, I would have thought it would have been a smidge more, but I'll say this, man. The only thing that's better than 10 is 11. So why don't we change that stat this weekend, right?
Yep, that's a good way to put it. That actually is a very good way to put it. Listen, you are always busy as we transition into basketball. Probably during basketball, you're more busy than any time of the year, especially with all the work you do for Nicholls State. Before we talk about boys and girls basketball in the area, Nicholls State, what you kind of scheduled this week?
Okay, so for Nichols, we have a men's basketball game on Tuesday. The Colonels are playing a non-conference game. Shout out to Coach Sadler and his guys. They start off Southland play 2-0 in the past week, getting some home wins against Southeastern and UNO. Women's basketball starts their Southland Conference slate on Thursday and I believe Sunday. I'll double check that, but I believe it's Thursday, Sunday. Coach Payne and his ladies start their Southland slate. They're playing really good ball, man. They're well above 500. They're playing at such a high level to start the season. So yeah, we got 3 Nichols games, all at Stouffer Gymnasium this week. And you're right, this is the busiest time of the year for us. We're covering high school. We're covering middle school. We're scheduled to be at a middle school basketball tournament this weekend over at Raceland. So yeah, we're all over the place. But man, I tell people all the time, I don't do bored well. So like you said yesterday, you were watching the Saints game and you were bored. Whenever that happens for us, we say, you know what, let's get the iPads out. Let's go find something to do.
Well, I will say this too, related to boys basketball first. It's kind of nice. We have a lot of rival games this week, and it's out of district rival. Consider when you have games like Terrebonne is taking on Allendale Memorial, South Lafourche is taking on Central Lafourche. That's a lot of fun. I think Thibodeau's playing Assumption this week. So we encourage, we implore you, go out and support those kids. Find out game times, go out and see those games. We have some good basketball teams in the area. It's kind of weird right now. We have some teams that have a ton of games, and we have some that were smart enough to wait because they knew their football kids wouldn't be around, so they haven't even gotten on the court yet. So we don't want to delve too much into who's going to be your powers in basketball, sort of like we did last week where we tried to make an educated guess. And I'll ask you this about girls basketball. To know that Terrebonne High has 9 wins now and Vanderbilt Catholic lost their last 2 games is sort of, when we get in the world of not expecting that, don't get me wrong, Vanderbilt Catholic played 2 of the better teams in the state of Louisiana. It's just kind of weird. We don't know yet with basketball. It's going to take a sort of a maturation process to find out who's who, right?
100%. It's still too early. You can't read anything into the Vanderbilt situation just yet. They're playing the best of the best. They're playing top 28 caliber competition. By the way, speaking of Vanderbilt, I don't know if you talked about this earlier, but shout out to Jaylon Coleman. He's going to sign his scholarship today. Actually, also happy 18th birthday to Jaylon today. He is going to be signing his scholarship with Liberty. But on the Vanderbilt girls side, again, playing great competition. We talked about Thibodeau and how good we think that they may be. Well, they have a bunch of injuries right now. So if you're seeing the scores and you're saying, well, Thibodeau lost to that team by that much, they have a ton of injuries. Same for South Lafourche. Nyla Lyons is out right now. Estrella Rivera is out right now. So we're seeing some scores right now locally on the girls' side that kind of don't add up. But then when you realize, well, this team's without that player, that team's without that player, by the time we get to December, late December, January, it's going to start to make sense because from what I understand, thankfully, while we have some teams that are beat up, they're not expected to be long-lasting injuries.
Agree. Don't put too much stock on those records and what you're seeing right now. I'm glad you brought up Thibodeau High School. And listen, you just don't know yet. Another sort of wild example is Edie White boys have not touched the court yet. Edie White girls are approaching 10 games at this point. So there's a little bit difference in how you sort of do things. And those basketball coaches have learned over the year when and how to do things. Congratulations to those teams who are starting out of the gate really well. But let's let it sort of play out as we go through December and get into January. As always, thank you very much. I'm glad you brought up Jaylon. We actually have a little piece on both Jaylon and Tyron a little bit later as Tyron Winslow signed with SMU. College playoff SMU. So we wish those 2 kids well. And I'm sure we'll have a few more that'll be signing, maybe not at a Power 5 school, but we'll have some that'll be signed along the way. And I know you always do a great job with Bayou Sports and with, Brian, when you guys are on play-by-play and on the weekends with the Coach's Corner. So thanks for getting the word out to everybody.
Oh, for sure, man. Look, it's a labor of love. We enjoy what we do. I echo what you said. Super congratulations to all the people that signed this past week and are going to continue to sign going forward. I know Nichols got some big commitments over the weekend, which is super awesome to see. Really quick, just to clarify, I got my dates wrong. Nichols women are going to be playing Let's see. It is going to be the following week that the Nichols women are going to be playing Southland Conference games. So I said this week. It's actually December the 18th and December 22nd. So my apologies. I actually have a little more free time than I realized this week. So that's
you don't.
I was about to say that just means I'll go pick up some high school games a little later in the week, right?
Yeah. I don't think you could go without staying busy and picking it. And we enjoy it. Obviously, we go to Bayou Sports to find out most of our sporting information from here on the Bayou region. We appreciate that a whole lot. One other little caveat, and we don't talk about Nichols as much on this podcast simply because we're a high school and below podcast. But that being said, Nichols is playing Gonzaga in a couple of weeks too. That's just very cool. The men's program is going up to play Gonzaga, so that'll be a lot of fun, right?
They sure are. Coach Sadler and his guys are super excited about that game. It's a great opportunity to go and see how you fare, against some of the best teams in the country. And make that trip to Gonzaga. You're going to be facing, a powerhouse program and a team that legitimately has a shot to win the national championship. So kudos to them for scheduling the game. And, hey, man, you have nothing to lose. Go out there and make it happen, man. We saw McNeese play Alabama close a couple weeks ago. What's to stopping the Colonels and go and do the same?
Agree 100%. Casey, as always, thank you very much. Have a wonderful week. We'll see you next Monday.
Same to you. Very quickly, can I shout someone out before we get out?
Absolutely.
Okay, so, we were talking a little middle school a second ago, and we were talking about Terrebonne High School a second ago. I want people to understand that they are about ready to have a wave of just tremendous talent. Houma Junior High School's 8th grade girls basketball team is incredible. And this past weekend, Kennedy Mahoney scored 49 points in a 24-minute basketball game to help lead Houma Junior High to winning the tournament title at Thibodeau Middle School.
And that's 8th grade, right?
8th grade. So 8th grader,
Points?
49 points in a 24-minute game. And that's not all she did. She also had 13 rebounds and 11 steals to lead her team to the championship victory. So I'm telling y'all, and I've said it now several times here, yes, Terrebonne, what they're doing right now is incredible, and they're off to a strong start to the year. Put the shutters down if you're facing them in the next couple of years, but the storm is coming. They have an unbelievable group at Houma Junior High.
So that's why when I go by Terrebonne and I pass by the physical education class, Cassidy Barrios has that smile from ear to ear.
1,000%, my friend. They are just getting started. 49 points in a 24-minute game is incredible.
Well, you know what? For what she went through last year, well-deserved to get that kind of talent coming up, and I'm sure she'll do a good job with it.
100%.
Listen, state championship, E.D. White against Shaw, noon on Friday. We'll put a button on football next week. I'll kind of get your thoughts on what you thought about the entirety of our football season here in the Bayou region, and hopefully we're talking about an E.D. White state championship. And then it's on to basketball and soccer and wrestling and bowling and everything else that the high schools have to offer. So again, thanks a whole lot. Have a wonderful week.
Same to you, brother.
Again, always good to have Casey with us. Big game this Friday. Remember, you can catch it on radio, 97.7. Catch it. Is that a good term? I don't know if that.
Can you catch the wave, right?
You catch
the radio wave.
We're from down the Bayou, so catch it is okay. Yeah, please. If you can't be at the game, we encourage you to go to the game on Friday. But if you can't be there, tune in to 97.7 FM. We'll have it. It's the Terrebonne General Community Sports Institute Game of the Week. As a matter of fact, I'll be on the call there from the Superdome that day. Moving on just a little bit. Sticking with football just a little bit also. 2 big signings this week. I was very fortunate to be involved with the signings at both Vanderbilt Catholic and E.D. White. Jaylon Coleman at Vanderbilt Catholic, and over at E.D. White, Tyron Winslow, big defensive lineman. Let's hear where they both signed and why they signed at their particular schools. It's always a good day when our student athletes in the area have the opportunity to advance and play on the next level in their respective sport. That is exactly what happened this past week related to 2 of our student athletes who are going to play football on the next level. It was the early national signing date, and we have 2 individuals who have signed at the highest level. Jaylon Coleman, the most prolific running back ever in Vanderbilt Catholic history, has decided to play his collegiate football at Liberty University. Jaylon, a terrific running back who set the all-time rushing yards lead over at Vanderbilt Catholic. decided to go up to Liberty. Liberty, a very good school on the mid-major level. As a matter of fact, just a couple of years ago, they were in a New Year's Day Bowl. He is going to bring a lot to that school. Obviously, a really good running back, but I think on the special teams, he's going to help them too, as he could be a returner for that school. So we're very excited about Jaylon going there, and certainly will follow his career there. Also signing was Tyron Winslow. Tyron Winslow, a big defensive tackle from H.L. Bourgeois, has decided to play his collegiate ball at SMU. Of course, SMU, we know, is in the running for a college football playoff spot. That school has had a very, very good year. Just a guy who is big and can really add to that school. He has been recruited by Coach Thibodeau on the defensive line there for the last couple of years and stuck with Tyron the entire process. And Tyron said, I'm going there because of Coach Thibodeau. We got to talk to him just a little bit. He tells us why SMU and tells us a little bit about those people that he needed to thank as he is going on to SMU. And you'll notice he's right there with his mom during his signing. So here we go. Tyron telling us a little bit about why SMU.
Coach Thibodeau let me know I was a main priority, like I was a must-have for him. I want to thank all my coaches, especially Coach Washington, Coach Gray. Coach Gray, he made sure I got to college campus, even when my mom couldn't make me, like allow me to go. Like he just made sure I was in front of coaches.
Oh, this is a great young man. I had the opportunity to be here when he first came on campus 4 years ago. He started as a freshman and he continued to elevate himself not only as a football player, but he elevated himself in the classroom and on the field. He's a great leader, he's a hard worker, and it's definitely worth giving him an opportunity to come to your campus and do something great.
Of course, you also got to hear from Coach Sterling Washington. He tells you what SMU is getting in a player like Tyron. So congratulations, both to Tyron Winslow and to Jaylon Coleman. They're going on to play at the next level. And probably more importantly, which sometimes gets forgotten these days, is they're going to get a great education on the collegiate level by via of sports. So we congratulate both of them. We'll be following their career, and we certainly wish them the best. So happy when we have local student athletes signing to play on a collegiate level. Again, the opportunity to get a college education is wonderful, and we wish those two young men the best of luck in the future. When we had the basketball coaches in here a little bit earlier in the month, we asked them some personal questions. Not real personal, but just a little bit of an insight to them. Both Dustin and I have actually taught in the school system for quite some time, and when we see students like out at Walmart, or at the grocery store or whatever, sort of weird because sometimes they don't think we're human. They ask us the strangest questions like you go shopping, and things like that. When I don't know if you ever had any instances of that.
For sure, but the students, it's like seeing wildlife,
Yeah, they see you out of your element.
Totally out of the element.
Out of the zoo. Oh, I didn't say that, but you know what I mean, guys. That being said, we thought it would be kind of neat to talk to some of our coaches about their likes and dislikes. Who were some of their better teachers when they were in school, or coaches when they were in school? Who do they sort of emulate? Who do they revere? And it's kind of nice. Dustin put this together, so we hope you enjoy, and we hope it gives you just a little bit better insight to some of our teachers in our school system. Ready? What's your teaching assignment?
Full.
Okay, very good. And one word, describe your coaching style. One word, you can't go over. One word, describe your coaching style.
Aggressive.
Okay, very good. Who was your childhood sports hero?
That's a long time ago, Stan. I might be older than the people I'm saying. So, Fran Tarkington.
Very good. Yeah, that's old.
But these guys don't even know who the hell that is.
If you can meet and have dinner with anybody, dead or alive, in the history of the world, who would you most want to sit down and have a discussion with? Could be personal.
Stan Gravois.
I'll leave that one. Best coach you ever had? Just to pay homage to some of you guys, coaches, or even a teacher.
Gordon Stauffer coached me in college.
At Nichols, right?
Yeah.
Very good. What's your teaching assignment at your school? It's amazing what people out there think. Some of them think y'all don't even teach, right? You ain't even got a teaching job or whatever. Some of you think that you're all in health and PE. So we just want to know what your teaching position is.
Even if we don't teach, we busy all day. That's
That's true.
goodness.
I shouldn't have said anything over that because I like that. I was going to use
You
that.
can use it.
All right,
That's
I am
fine.
going to use it.
But PE and ingenuity.
Very good. Ingenuity. In one word, describe your coaching style.
Developmental.
Very good. Very good. Who's your childhood sports hero?
Bo Jackson.
Very good.
My favorite.
Very good. And listen, some of these could be personal. If it was your big brother,
Does anybody
that's
here
fine.
know Bo Jackson?
Yeah.
Not that
If
old.
they don't know Bo,
I hope so.
everybody knows Bo. If you could meet and chat with anybody, dead or alive, that you would just like to have a conversation with.
I'm gonna keep it coaching wise. I'm gonna say John Thompson.
Very good. Very good. Best coach you ever had when you were
Mac Brown.
very good.
No doubt.
So your teaching assignment.
PE and help.
Very good. In one word, describe your coaching style.
Empowering.
Very good. Who was your childhood sports hero?
I'm saying LeBron James.
Good. If you could meet or chat with anybody, dead or alive, you could spend a couple hours with them, who would it be?
At this point in my life right now, Coach Kenny Dixon.
Very good. Best coach you ever had?
Coach Andrew Kaiway.
All right. We'll let that one go. All right, good. Thanks, Coach. What is your teaching assignment?
Girls PE and girls athletic PE.
Very good. One word, describe your coaching style.
Passionate.
Very good. Who was your childhood sports hero?
I went through a few of these when I was looking. I'm gonna say Simone Augustus though. I think I followed her the most.
Very good. If you could meet or chat with anyone, dead or alive, anybody.
First person that came to mind when I read it was Pat Summitt, so I'd say Pat.
Very good. Best coach you ever had?
I'm gonna say Damon Robinson.
All right, here we go. The one-worders. Your teaching assignment at E.D. White.
So I teach U.S. history and civics
Very good.
all day.
In one word, describe your coaching style.
Passionate.
Very good. Your sports hero when you were a kid, or even today.
Ken Griffey Jr.
Good. If you can meet anyone, dead or alive, in the history of the world, who would you like to sit and have a chat with?
Probably not anything too crazy. Tony Bennett, former coach at Virginia. He actually just retired, stepped down, but guy I really admire, and I would love to sit down and talk to him.
Awesome. I thought you meant the singer fellow.
No.
Best coach you ever had?
I would say two, but Scott Gautreaux and Rafe Blades, two guys that when I was coming up, well, this is one word answers. I'm sorry.
No,
I'm
that's
not gonna
cool.
get into
No,
it.
that's cool. Listen, the thing is, we couldn't spend a whole lot of time on this part, but no, that's good.
No, two guys. I was just growing up, learning the game of basketball. I used to go to their camps, and I really learned how to play basketball from those two guys. They taught me a lot, and Coach Gautreaux and Coach Blades are two guys I still talk to frequently.
All right, here we go. Your teaching assignment at Ellinger.
Algebra 1, accounting, and business math.
Very good. Believe it or not, there's probably some people out there that never even knew that, so that's good. One word to describe your coaching style.
Intense.
Very good. Who's your childhood sports hero? I say childhood, it could still be your hero today. We just want to know a sports. We're trying to make y'all human, right, to the kids. Sports hero.
Sports hero, I have to say Magic. Magic Johnson, yeah.
All right, I'm with you. If you could meet or chat with anybody, dead or alive, who would you just like to sit down and have a talk with?
Yeah, I thought about this, and I'm gonna go off of sports. My grandfather, I never met him, my dad's dad. Heard a lot about him, and I really would love to meet him and just talk about him. So we could talk about my dad. Yeah.
Very good. Yeah, it's open, man. Anybody you could think of out there. Best coach you remember or had the most influence on you?
Now, I heard somebody say two, and I really do have two. Coach Ernest Brown and my high school coach, Coach David Neal. Taught me the game. Both taught me different aspects. I learned my X's and O's from Coach Neal, but Coach Brown he made an impact in my life and kind of taught me a lot about it.
Perfect. Thank you very much. Here we go. Your teaching assignment at Ellinger.
Math inclusion, our class of PE.
Okay. One word, best describe your coaching style.
George.
Good. Who was your childhood sports hero?
Childhood sports hero. I would have to go with I'll say like Emmitt Smith.
Very good. All right. If you could meet anybody, live or dead, whether it be family, whether it be a hero, an idol you had, who would you like to meet and kind of have a chat with?
Jesus Christ.
Very good. Best coach you ever had?
Waskins.
Very good. Very good. Thank you, sir. All right, here we go. What's a teaching assignment? What do you teach?
I have 8th grade earth science. I hang around 8th graders all day. So when I get to basketball, I get to, relax a little bit, 8th graders all day. 8th graders all day.
In one word, describe your coaching style.
My coaching style, love. I love the game. It's only, besides my kids, the only thing I have is wife.
All right, here we go. One childhood sports hero.
Childhood sports hero. I'm just Michael Jordan. That's it. I'm not gonna think as hard as this. Michael Jordan was my hero.
It ain't like you go wrong with Michael Jordan. If you could meet or chat with anyone, dead or alive.
Now that's a tough one. I don't even want to be. I had so many. If I could sit down, I would love to sit down with Dr. King, Michael Jordan, Kobe. I'd just rather be that fly on the wall and just listen to those war stories.
Very good. Best coach you ever, coach who influenced you the most?
That's another one. All right, we start from high school. Scott Gotro, college coach Jeff Moore. I've also got to coach with some great coaches like Richard Jones and Tony Clark. So it's a bunch of them. I stay learning. If I'm watching a girls game at HF Booth, I'm learning stuff, so I'm trying to learn.
Perfect. Thank you very much. All right, here we go. Your teaching assignment at Vanderbilt.
Physical education.
Next, one word, describe your coaching style.
Different.
Who was your childhood sports hero, or even your sports hero today?
Sports hero, Penny Hardaway, but hero, my parents.
Very good. If you could meet and chat with anyone, dead or alive?
Augustus Brown.
Very good. Best coach or the coach that influenced you most?
I would say Brad Villavasso and Augustus Brown.
Very good. Awesome. All right, here we go, Richard. What is your teaching assignment at Homer Christian?
I have some 90-minute PEs. I got some high-intense 90-minute study halls where we might fit a little bit of film study in at times, but pretty good gig.
Any 8th graders?
7th and 8th graders. We actually got a couple 7th graders that'll probably play a few varsity minutes for us too.
One word, describe your coaching style.
Passionate.
Very good. Who was your childhood sports hero?
The ultimate weapon, Randall Cunningham.
Awesome. Yeah, there you go. If you could meet and chat with anyone, dead or alive, you could just hook up and talk with them.
I think Vine had the best answer. I got to follow up and go with that one, Jesus Christ.
Very good. Best coach or I keep saying best coach. I don't know if it has to be the best coach, but a coach that affected you the most, inspired you the most.
From junior high, I played for James Landry. He was awesome. And then I was blessed with another great coach with Andrew Caillouette at HL Bourgeois. Coached alongside some really good coaches, Nick Sinek, Leon Bill, Derek Zush, Augustus Brown. So I was blessed for sure.
Very good, very good. Thanks, Rich. Okay, Jamal, what's your teaching assignment? Well, not necessarily teaching assignment. What is your assignment at Homer Christian?
I'm actually an administrator. I'm over the disciplinary. I'm a disciplinarian for K through 12th grade.
Very good. In one word, describe your coaching style.
Unselfish.
Very good. Who is your childhood sports hero or hero in general, related to sports?
Gotcha. It would have to be my older brother, John P. Burks. He was a blue chip All-American quarterback at Turbine High School.
Brother?
Yes, sir.
I never knew that.
Yes, sir. That's my older
That's
brother.
awesome. Yeah, he ran over us, and not ran over us, threw over us. Yeah, it's good. If you could meet or chat with anyone, dead or alive, in history of the world, who would you want to sit around and talk to?
I actually had the experience to meet him this summer. I worked the Peyton Manning camp this summer, and I had opportunity to meet Bill Belichick and talk to him. So that was my goal, my long-term goal. So
Awesome. Best coach or coach that influenced you most?
Dr. John Favreau.
Very good. I don't know that.
He was a doctor locally. He supported Vanderbilt for years, but he coached me for the Demons, but he stayed involved in my life for a long time.
Good, good. All right, here we go, Gage. Your teaching assignment at Central Lafourche.
Physical education.
Very good. Good for you. In one word, your coaching style.
Energetic.
Good. Who's your childhood sports hero?
Ooh. I'm gonna go with Chris Paul. I was a big New Orleans Hornets guy.
Good.
Younger there.
Yeah, that's right. If you could meet or chat with anybody, dead or alive, who would it be?
First, I'm gonna say my uncle, Uncle Pat. That was a guy I talked a lot of basketball with. And now that he's gone, I kind of missed that part of my life. Coaching wise, I'll say Monty Williams. That was a guy, coached the Hornets. I really loved him.
Oh, very good, very good. Yeah. Coach who influenced you the most?
So other than my father, which coached me for a while, that was a great connection. But high school was Mark Sanders.
All right, here we go. What's your teaching assignment at Central?
Special education.
Very good. That's what I did. I loved it. In one word, describe your coaching style.
Motivating.
Very good. Childhood sports hero.
Diana Taurasi.
Good. If you can meet or chat with anyone dead or alive, just to kind of hear them and ask them questions.
Dawn Staley.
Best coach or most inspirational coach you ever had?
I had two. My junior high coach, Michelle Plaisance at LCO, and Coach Kenneth Dixon. I would love to coach with them again.
Yeah, that's that. Yeah, we all miss Coach Dixon. Your assignment at CCA?
The assistant principal.
Very good. In one word, describe your coaching style.
Ridiculous.
Okay, that'll be good in there. Who was your childhood sports hero?
Tony Dorsett.
Wow, that's that.
Oh yeah, Tony
All right.
Dorsett was my favorite player.
All right. If you could meet or chat with anybody, dead or alive, who would you want to sit down and talk with?
My high school coach, Roosevelt Brown, Teddy Brown from McKinley Island.
Very good. Best coach, inspirational?
Honestly, it's one of the coaches I worked with here when I came to this area, Damon Robinson.
Yes.
He taught me a lot.
Yeah, we had actually somebody else say Damien too. So
Damon taught me a lot. If you were around Damon and watched him coach, right? I see guys in here, Nick Sinak, Ashley. You know, we were all part of the AAU program and stuff. Damon was intense, but he taught a lot.
Your role at CCA?
I teach PE, history, consumer math, and media arts.
Wow.
That's Coach
All right.
Jack's problem.
Yeah. Give him a break, dude. In one word, describe your coaching style.
Passionate.
Very good. Who was your childhood sports hero?
Oh. I was going to say Michael Jordan, but I also would say Pistol Pete. I've always loved how he played.
Awesome, awesome. If you could meet or chat with anybody, dead or alive, in the history of the world, who would it be?
Be Christ.
Best coach or most inspirational coach you ever had?
Coach Richardson, which was my volleyball coach in high school.
Tell us the school.
I'm Lincolnton High School. I am from North Carolina.
Very good. No, that's awesome because we're trying to get people to know everybody. Not that we're going to know Coach Richardson.
Richardson, yes.
And why? Just a good guy?
Yeah, he always pushed me to be the best that I could be.
All right, here we go, Keegan. You're teaching assignment.
Spanish.
Really? Wow, that's cool.
On the computer, though. I don't know.
Yeah, I know somebody else. I know somebody else that's like that too. In one word, describe your coaching style.
Confident.
Very good. Who's your childhood sports hero?
So I was gonna go with Kobe Bryant, but Darian said she's gonna go with Kobe Bryant. I knew she was a big Kobe Bryant fan. So looking back on my childhood, the reason why I coached basketball, the reason why I developed a love for basketball was because of the 1998 state championship team. So picking one guy from there, Bo Quinn, is probably.
Oh, very good. Oh, yeah. I watched him in the cage and dome. If you could meet anybody, chat with anybody alive or dead in the history of the world.
I would probably say Coach K. I read a couple of his books and the way he developed as a coach, the way he developed his players, It's something that, every kid can't be coached the same. And a lot of his folks kind of said that. So probably Coach Ken.
Very good. Best coach or most inspirational coach you ever had?
So without offending anybody, so I'm gonna list a couple. I think my dad probably got the most out of me as a kid. I think Coach Greg Curall, Coach Brian Colley developed me a lot as a player, as a young adult. But I really think as a coach, someone that developed me in a better coach, a better athletic director, was probably Coach Nessie Pierce.
Very good. Yeah, that was my generation of coaching here with Nessie.
He coached with me at LCO the last 2 years.
That's true, huh?
Yeah.
That's true.
So he helped me out a lot.
Still there, too.
Yeah, still there.
Perfect. All right, what do you teach at South Lafourche?
I teach girls regular PE, conditioning PE, and Spanish.
In one word, describe your coaching style.
Motivational.
Good. Who was your childhood sports hero? I know the answer already.
Yeah, thanks to Coach Pokey, it is Kobe Bryant.
Okay. If you could meet and chat with anybody, dead or alive?
Same answer, Kobe Bryant.
Very good. Best coach or most inspirational coach you had?
I'm gonna say 2. In high school, Coach Greg Curall was a great motivation for me, and I did play college ball my freshman year, and it was Jason Tinsley was my coach.
I don't know who that is.
Yeah, I went to Louisiana College in Pineville, so 4 hours away. He was actually a male coach for most of his life. I think we were the first girls team that he ever had. And he was very strict, but he helped me out a lot.
That's awesome. Those are those little things I'm interested in.
Yeah.
I'm going to look up Jason Tinsley, so I'm going to find out.
Great man, yeah.
Good. All right, here we go. Teaching assignment.
I teach U.S. history and world geography.
Very good. In one word, describe your coaching style.
Patient.
I wondered what you would say. Patient. I like that. Your childhood sports hero.
MJ, Michael Jordan.
If you could meet or chat with anybody, dead or alive.
From a coaching perspective, I would say John Wooden. I'd like to sit down with him.
Very nice. Most inspirational coach you ever had?
My middle school basketball coach in Pensacola, Coach King.
Here we go. Your teaching assignment at South Carolina, because I know it's new to you, right?
Yes. I am Algebra 1 and Business Math.
Very good. In one word, describe your coaching style. Your you coaching style.
Detail oriented. I handle all the logistics. I told Caleb, I said, send me all your bus requests. I will do all your bus requests, money, everything.
All right. Have a sports hero when you were a kid?
Kat Osterman, the pitcher from Texas.
Oh, sure.
Softball is my other sport I love.
Very good. If you could meet anyone dead or alive?
Probably go back and talk to my grandpa.
I thought more people were going to say that, like family members and stuff. A coach or a teacher that you had that was sort of inspirational to you?
Harold Castell.
Oh, sure. Mr. Castell.
He's the one that taught me how to play basketball.
Are you from Dulores?
I am.
Oh.
I actually lived 2 houses down from his old house.
So I grew up with Harold Jr., so Mr. Harold was our all-star coach when we were little, so yeah.
So he taught me how to play basketball. And then I said, oh, this is too much running for me. And then he would always sign me back up, so I would always play. But then he showed me how to do a book, how to take score.
Take score.
I started taking score when I was 11.
Yes, sir.
What's your teaching assignment at Terrebonne?
My teaching assignment is I'm the head of discipline, so I have the intervention room. Those kids that might struggle in the classroom need a little bit more space to have a quiet room and do their work. I'm the man of that, and I am a PE coach.
Very good. In one word, describe your coaching style. One word.
Hard.
Okay, good, good. Childhood sports hero.
Again, I have to still answer from my boy Jamal Celestine. His older brother is still one of my childhood heroes, John Pete Burks.
I knew you were going to say that from the other interviews we did. I did not know that was his brother.
Yeah.
Wow. If you could meet or chat with anybody, dead or alive, through the history of time.
I know this might be out of left field for people that might not know me, but I'm a big Alanis Morissette fan. So I love her, and I would love to, have a chat with her.
All I can say is wow to that.
Yeah. But to the people that know me, they know that I would say that. So
Alanis Morissette.
Yeah.
I thought you might even say Taylor Swift.
That's my number one.
Most inspirational coach you ever had?
Most inspirational coach. I know it's one thing, but I love all my coaches. I know some people have some ups and downs with their coaches, but I love all of them. But for two people that have the spotlight, it would be my high school coach, David Neal, and my first coach overseas, Andrea Capobianco.
Perfect. All right, here we go. Teaching assignment at Terrebonne High.
I'm PE and weights and conditioning.
Very good. One word to describe your coaching style.
I'll say engaging.
I like that. That's a new one. For the last person to have a new one, that's good. Your childhood sports hero.
I was a big LeBron James fan.
Okay, very good, very good. If you can meet or chat with anybody, dead or alive, throughout the history of time, it would be?
Gino from UConn, coach.
Ah, have you ever met him?
I have not, but I would love to.
That would be awesome. Most inspirational / best coach you ever had?
Coach Doobie plays us at Nichols.
That was great. We're going to actually do that for the baseball and softball coaches coming up in a few months. We're going to do it for our football coaches and volleyball coaches annually also. Gives you a better insight to what they are all about. And we appreciate them doing that. They were very good sports to do that when they were sitting with us. That's going to wrap it up for our show today. We hope you really enjoyed it. We are wishing E.D. White the best of luck in their state championship football game on Friday. Again, of 383 state championship games since 1921, only 10 Bayou Region champs, and E.D. White trying to make it 11. We hope that they do. And again, if you enjoy our podcast, go subscribe. Very easy to do. You just go down, if you're watching this on YouTube, and subscribe are right below. I'm not sure how Spotify sets that up, if it's a subscribe type thing.
It is, yeah. There is a subscription, and it's similar to YouTube. You just click the subscribe button.
The interesting thing is a lot of you people out there who are saying, well, I don't have time to turn on YouTube and watch you. Maybe when I'm driving to work, go to Spotify. You know, turn on Spotify. We are on Spotify too with this broadcast, and we would love to make sure that all of you out there are tuning in and getting the latest. And obviously, it's great to have Casey with us. He gives us a lot of insight too. So go in on a daily basis and tune in to Bayou Sports. You'll get a lot of scores and a lot of action as they cover a lot of games in the area. Dustin, thank you, my man, very much.
Thank you, Stan.
By the way, hard to believe this is like the 5th or 6th podcast we do, so we're rolling right along.
Cruising.
Thank you, guys. Have a wonderful week. We'll see you next Monday.